What's up, babes? This is Harish here from Melbourne Yatri. If you are looking for the old school but still awesome 24 frames per second method of video capturing, then you will need a firmware upgrade. This video takes you through the steps of upgrading your firmware on your Canon M6 Mark II. Upgrading firmware is always good. It helps you to keep up with the security patches as well as the latest and greatest stuff that is the manufacturer is offering. Doing a Google search for the Canon M6 Mark II firmware upgrade. Easily get the link. We are looking for version 1.1.0 and better than that. Let's look under support and drivers. Drivers and downloads. And then look for cameras and mirrorless, because M6 Mark II is a mirrorless camera. Now you have two options, M6 and M6 Mark II. Remember, we are supposed to choose M6 Mark II because that's what we have. By clicking on it, you would be taken to the support page. Scroll down for the firmware upgrade. You're looking for version 1.1.1 released on 22nd Jan 2021. Once you click on it, you have the information with respect to that particular update. Take your time to have a look at it. These are the version changes. So you can see that under version 1.1.0 is where you got the 24 frames per second video recording added, whereas version 1.0.1 is more got to do with PTP communications and some vulnerability with respect to the firmware. You can verify it's a DMG file because this is a Mac system that I'm using for, and then you go ahead and actually click download. Once you download the file, go ahead, open it. The DMG file gets installed and you would get these two files about there. And you click on the folder, then you get manual. Choose the language you prefer. I would prefer English for myself, and then this is the process available above there. So this is a manual process where you copy the file onto your memory card. To do that, you got to initialize the card with the camera. That means you have to put a plain card into the camera and switch it on for the first time. So there will be two folders created in it, and then you have to go ahead and copy the file into its root directory. I will show this ahead. Once the file is transferred onto the memory card, you would place the memory card into the camera and then go ahead and actually upgrade the firmware process. And then you have to acknowledge it and just reconfirm. This is the process up there. You can read it on the manual. This is an alternative method where you're actually using an app from Canon to go ahead and do it, where you would connect the camera directly to the computer. No need to fiddle anymore with the memory cards. Put it still in a shooting mode PE and then upgrade the firmware. So you have two methods of going ahead and doing it. You can choose any one of them. I have chosen the memory card method because that was easier for me. I have confirmed that I have the right file, and then I've gone ahead and saved all my existing photos onto my hard disk space so that I don't lose them. Then I've gone ahead and actually cleared it. DCIM and MSIC are part of the root folder, so all I do is copy and paste into the root folder. That's it. So you have the firmware into the memory card. Now we want to go ahead and try to upgrade the firmware. So let's as per the instructions, put this in P mode. So there we go. So we are in P mode. Then thank you. Then we go ahead and try to press menu. And once we press menu, we are presented with all these options. Yeah, there you go. Under this one, the wrench, which is actually up there in settings, you have to come to number 5. And under that, you actually have firmware. So let's basically use the scroll wheel to come down to firmware. Click on it. For camera, again click on it. Current firmware version 1.0.1. Update firmware, press OK. And let's see what happens. Right, because earlier we did load the program, the FIR program, onto the memory card into the root folder, as you have seen in the screenshot. Because we have put it in the root folder, it was able to recognize it. It has recognized the correct file ending with 111.fir. So we go ahead and you see the set button, we actually press this one. It says update firmware from 1.0.1 to 1.1.1. Okay, so the touch is not working on it. So you got to, even the moving of wheel is not there, but these buttons are working on it. So you can actually press in these corners and it's actually a clicky button. So you press on this clicky button on the right side, it comes to OK, then click on set. It says do not turn off the power switch or touch any buttons. So what we would do then is to just, hold it out there, or you can actually just put it down. There you go. the update is complete. Now we can go ahead and actually cross verify the update. Easier way of doing it is just come here. You can see press the menu button. Because you were actually in the screen earlier before going for update, you are actually on the same screen. It says firmware version 1.1.1, especially for the cam it's 1.1.1. The other way to cross verify it is actually now switch it off, then again switch on, go to menu. So you have to come, you have to scroll it across. I'm actually using this wheel to scroll, the front wheel, which is there on the shutter button around it. So you can actually scroll this across, and then you have to come all the way to here, the wrench icon, and then you have to come to the menu 5 of it, and in that the last one is actually your firmware. Click on it, version 1.1.1. that's the latest version. So yeah, so that's actually how you upgrade the firmware for CANON M6 Mark II.